multiplying and dividing rationals. So let's start with multiplication. When you're multiplying, really what you need to do first is simplify. So if you can factor and then cancel any like terms, you need to do that before you multiply and just make this much easier. So let's look at A. There's nothing to factor here, so we're going to go ahead and cancel, and we'll start with the numbers. And just like with fractions, I have a 3 and a 6. So I'm going to divide both of those by the largest number that divides into them evenly, which is 3. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. 6 divided by 3 is 2. I then see that the 2's can cancel. They're both divisible by 2, so this leaves me with a 1, and this leaves me with a 1. And then look at your variable. I have an n and an n squared. One of these n's can cancel with one of these. So this n will go away, and this n squared will just become 1n because one of them will go away. So we'll just go ahead and multiply across. 1 times 1, and then in the denominator you get 21n. So 1 over 21n. For b, we have multiplication here in between the 6 and this factor and the 3 and this factor, so I can cancel both of the r plus 2's. I'm also going to cancel or divide my 6 by 3 and my 3 by 3. And last, the 4 and 20 are both divisible by 4, so 4 divided by 4 is 1, 20 divided by 4 is 5. So let's go ahead and multiply across. I get a 2 and an r over 5. So 2r over 5, or remember this is the same thing as 2/5 r. Just two different ways to write the same thing. Okay, for c, I can factor this second numerator. That's the only thing that can be simplified here. So I get 1 over v plus 10 times the GCF of 10 and 30 is 10. So I'm going to pull out a 10, and I get v plus 3 over v plus 3. Okay, so this is multiplication. This v plus 3 can cancel with this v plus 3. They're exactly the same. And then I'm going to go ahead and multiply across, and I get 10 in my numerator and v plus 10 in my denominator. And remember, these 10's cannot cancel because there's an addition sign here. So the only way I could cancel is if I had a v plus 10 somewhere, which I don't. But this has to stay together because of that addition sign. So that's the simplest form. Okay, for D, we need to factor first. So in the first fraction, the numerator is in simplest form, but the denominator I can pull out a 7. So I'm going to pull out a 7, and that leaves me with x plus 5 times, in the second fraction, the denominator is simplified already, so I'm just going to factor my numerator. I need two numbers that multiply to be negative 40 and add to be negative 3, and that would be, that's supposed to be an x, that would be x minus 8 and x plus 5. Those multiply 8 and negative 8 and 5 multiply to be negative 40 and add to be negative 3. Let's go ahead and cancel any like factor. So I have x plus 5 here, and here I can cancel, and I have an x minus 8 I can cancel. And I go ahead and multiply across, and I get x plus 7 over 7, and that's our final answer.